Hey guys, welcome to this front door transformation video. As you can see, we're in the midst of renovation, and although these are beautifully stained wooden doors, they're just not quite matching the aesthetic for the rest of our house. So this video is going to take you through how I've transformed these doors into yes. So my plan for this door is that we want to restore it and give it a nice fresh lick of paint. Now over the years it has had lots of water damage, it's been through storms, and there is definitely some damage to this door. So we're going to have to inspect it, do some wood filler and paint it. And I can't wait to take you guys through this journey to see how we've done that. So first things first, we need to pop some gloves on. Now I do know that the threshold has got lots of timber water damage, so I'm going to go ahead, inspect it, give it a clean and fill it in with some filler. Let's take a look. So right now I've got some 180 grit sandpaper. I'm going to give it a good sand down, and then I'm going to start filling in those cracks and crevices that you can see in preparation for painting. The idea of giving it a good sand down is, one, to get the texture really nice and smooth, but secondly to remove some of this old stain. Although it is beautiful, you can see it is really starting to show its age, and once we remove the stain we can help the paint adhere better to the wood. On the outside you can see that there is loads of damage here, and that's probably because of the weather. Here's the silicone. You can see here they've got some brown silicone, but it's really soft, it's peeling away, so we're going to just peel that back, get rid of it. Now over here there is some damage. This is silicone right here, so I'm going to get rid of that as well and just re-silicone the door so that there's no timber damage. This timber is actually quite solid, but what you can see here is that we had a bit of an issue. We caused this with a scissor lift that we tried to get into the house and put this guy up, but we damaged the wood in progress. But generally the timber is good, it's just the silicone needs removing and re-siliconing, and yeah, fun time. Now that I've done some sanding to the frame that I'm primarily going to paint, which is the inner aspect, so we can go on with the tile project, is I'm going to just wipe it down with some sugar soap to get rid of any residue, and so when the paint does happen it's not going to have some bubbles in it. Okay, so now that I have sanded it down, I've cleaned it up, it's time now to apply some masking tape to the windows because I don't really want to get paint on there. My main focus at the moment is just to get this threshold painted so that when we are putting the tiles down, it's a lot easier to paint in advance than painting it when the tiles are on. So yeah, it's taking a bit of time, but it's worth it. Let's put some masking tape on. So right here I've got my aqua enamel, which is semi-gloss. Now usually I would use an undercoat, however, from experience, I found that it hasn't really made much difference. I've done a lot of skirting, and whether I've used an undercoat or not, it doesn't make a huge difference. I still have to do 4 coats of paint. Now probably there is some science behind it, and if you're watching this video as a guide, I probably would use an undercoat just in case because they tell you to, but we're going to see how it comes out without an undercoat because I've done so many of them without it and it seems to be okay. So yeah, let's crack it open and give it a go. Okay, so that's the first coat done. I'm going to leave that to dry for maybe an hour or two with the sun shining down on it, so it will be a bit quicker. And then I'm going to go ahead and sand it down and then apply the next coat. So we'll just keep going. Whilst my second coat is drying, I'm going to work on the exterior aspect of the door, and you can see over here that the silicone is just coming out, it's nasty, and it's time for it to be replaced. And then I'm going to try and fix this area up here with some wood filler. The sun is glorious, to be honest. I just wanted an excuse to go outside and sunbathe, but if I can do something else at the same time, winning. Alright, I'm going to get a scraper and just remove the silicone, and then we're going to reapply it once it's all painted up. So this house is about 30 years old, and nobody ever really did this. You can tell it's all falling to pieces. The previous owners didn't bother to to look into this. We came and the house was literally leaking everywhere, so it's time to give us some TLC. Look at that, it's like not doing anything. Now that I'm satisfied that the silicone has been removed and it's fairly clean, I'm going to just give it a light sand with my 180 grit, just so I can try and tackle this area over here, which is the part that we previously damaged. Let's give it a shot. So really what I want to do now is just try to build this area up again with some external wood filler to see if I can just bring it back up to life and give it a bit more solidness. So I've got my polyfiller exterior timber wood, flexible wood filler for exterior woodwork, weatherboard, decking and fences, which is important because this is an exterior part of the house and it did have a lot of rain damage, so that means that it's probably going to have some more rain coming to it. I'm choosing a day when it's not raining. It's not going to be forecast to rain anytime soon, so it can dry quite nicely. So I'm going to fill in the cracks first of all. And I will be sanding as well, so don't worry if you've got some excess. I'm pretty happy with that so far. I'm going to just let it dry and then I'm going to sand it down so it's nice and smooth and then reapply layers if I need to, but I think that's a good starting point. I'm just going to fix up the rest of the threshold now. Whilst my third coat is drying on the inside, what I'm going to do now is just sand this down, this timber area here that I did with polyfiller. It's dried up, it's really nice and solid, but I want to make it really smooth so when I do come to painting it, it's going to look perfect. So I've got 180 grit sandpaper here and I'm just going to do strokes along the line of the grain. That is amazing. I'm going to show you this closer up. So let's just do a quick before and after. So this is the before, and if I just run my sandpaper over this gently, take a look at that. That's looking pretty good so far. I think I'm just going to do this bit more with filler. But so far, so good. That's looking pretty nice. Happy days. So right now I'm using a microfiber foam roller, which is actually really good. Super smooth, like so. And I'm also using a very fine paintbrush as well, which is suitable for doors and alcotraves, and it's nice and soft. So what I'm doing with this is I'll give you a little bit of a peek key demonstration, is I do a little bit interior like this. I paint this bit and then I do a little bit here and here, and then I go around with my paintbrush, as you will shortly see. Lots of fun. So half the door is now done. It's now time to do the next door. And so far I've just given one pass over the first door. We'll do a first pass over the next door. And then we're going to do it 6 times over, sanding in between, and it's going to look bellissimo.
All right, I'm loving what you did with the first coat of the painting, except I've got some advice for you. Something you actually do is remove the furnishings from the door. That way you don't get those ugly paint marks around it. And all you need is one of these, a micro screwdriver. They call me the micro specialist. So all you gotta do is put it in there, unscrew, unscrew, and then this should come out. Look at that, now you can paint. Do the same with this furnishing. Just a screwdriver down, screw down there. Over here, just some screws. And with this handle, it's actually, you get, look at that ugly paint around it. It just doesn't look good. This one, all you do is get a wrench and hook it out. So let's do that.
Alright, so there you have the first coat of the doors, and it's probably taken me a fair few hours, but it doesn't really matter because it's looking much better. It is still patchy nonetheless, and we are going to do another 5 coats afterwards, but let's take a closer look at this. You can see the old brown is just seeping through. It's like, I don't want to come out. But no, we are going to just ban you from coming out, because do not fear, the next thing we're going to do is lightly sand it with a 400 grit sandpaper, and then again, over and over and over again, and I think it's going to look amazing. So whilst I did take a few coats for this to turn into this magnifique white splendor, you can see it just looks exceptional. It looks clean, it looks crisp, it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, for those of you astute out there, you might think, oh, the handles look a bit different. Well, you're quite right, because we did also change the handles, and if you guys want to see how we changed handles and we changed weather strip as well on the floor, be sure to check out our next video. Hope you guys found this video useful and enjoyed the show. Yes.